Batman was doing research into alternate dimensions and other things like that. However, one day, something would be off. As he was chasing Gentle Criminal, he would look at him and say, there's different afterlives. How would you like to visit one? I promise you'll be sent to a gentleman like myself. Batman would simply say, shut up and give me the money, as he was trying to get money back from a robbery, when suddenly Gentle Criminal would open up a portal, causing Batman to go to the Hazbin universe. As Batman looked around, everything looked so weird. The sky was red. There was buildings everywhere and strange creatures walking around. As suddenly, Alistair would walk in front of him. You need a disguise. My friend sent you here. Your friend, huh? Who is he? Well, the ghost you just fought. He's a gentleman just like me, and he used to be from here until he moved to your reality. But that doesn't matter. Let's get you a proper disguise now. He would snap his fingers, as Batman would look way more like Man-Bat, but actually look presentable with a suit on. An old-timey suit from the 1920s. Ah, that looks very nice. Now, if you want to get out of here, you're going to have to... Batman says, no deal. I can find my own way out. Alistair would sigh and say, very well, but you might as well follow me into the hotel. Hotel, huh? Why should I trust you? Well, you probably shouldn't, honestly, but I'm your only way out. And besides, without this, you'll just be wandering mindlessly. Do you really want that? Bruce would look down and think about everything. He needed to get back to Gotham. As he nodded, Batman and Alistair followed one another. Batman could build a machine to get out of here, but it would take time, and he had to understand the physics of this world before he did so. As he began to walk closer and closer to the hotel, Charlie herself came out, and she was super excited to see him. As she squealed, "Eee! I can't believe it. Someone actually wants to join the hotel." Alistair would say, that's right, this is our new resident. Batman would look at Alistair, a little peed off. After all, did he really want to involve himself with Lucifer's daughter, Charlie? Probably not, but, he was invited in, and as he walked in, Angel would look at him and say, so, handsome, you have a type? He would look at Angel and say, I do, but you're not it. As Husk would just laugh. Angel would then look at Husk and say, what are you laughing at? Husk would simply smirk and say, I'm laughing because you were just turned down. Oh, where'd that little ego go? The great Angel turned down by some random bat guy. Angel would say, shut up. As Batman said, amusing, as he simply walked off. He seemed quite cold. Now, this seemed like a big problem, since Angel looked and said, the first thing he should probably learn is how to open himself up more. Alistair simply smirked because, well, he needed to keep his cover. So he highly doubted that he would open up anytime soon. But, he would play along with this absurd idea, as in Alistair simply left. Days would pass. As Batman would try to understand the physics of this world, it seemed like everything was the same. This dimension was super similar to his own, except this was some version of, well, hell. It must be some sort of punishment, but it didn't seem very punishment-worthy. Sure, this town kind of sucked and was downtrodden, but it was a lot like Gotham, honestly. And to be fair, it was kind of almost safer. True, there was overlords and criminals, just like Gotham, but come on, Valentino is not nearly as bad as the Joker. You cannot prove me wrong. You might say he's a worse person, but the Joker's done way more crime and heinous things. So has a lot of Gotham's criminals. So yeah, maybe this place needed a hero. But, since he's in hell, it's not like he can just arrest people. But he still needed to go out at night. But as he was thinking this, Charlie would walk into his room. Hey, you've been kind of, isolated. Isolating yourself from everyone, and that's not really healthy. We needed to do group therapy, so I was hoping you can come down, and it's not a request, it's some demand, Charlie would say nervously. Batman would look at Charlie, and what could he tell that Charlie was actually nice? At first, he thought it was an act, but after using his great detective work, he found out that this was herself. He would sigh and say, fine. As they all came down to group therapy, they would all talk about their lives before they died, as Batman knew he was going to make up some story. As they all sat down for therapy, they began to talk about their lives. As well, Batman just sat there and looked down. He didn't really know what to say to anyone. After all, even though he was going to have to lie, and he was used to lying, after all, he played a playboy, but this was different. These people were nice people, good people, and they had special powers. He was used to working with people with special powers. Maybe he could tell them the truth. But as all these thoughts were going through his head, eventually Charlie would look at Batman and say, it's your time to chair. Batman would simply sigh as he decided to look at all of them. Listen, I don't know if you knew this, but Alistair would look at Batman and whisper, don't tell them the truth. Trust me, if you did, it would end badly for all of us. Batman was shocked. Alistair let him do whatever he wanted here, but then he simply looked and said, well, I didn't always look like this, obviously. I was a scientist, researching a way to cure death with bats. And then he basically just tells a man-bat story, and Angel says, wow, you turned yourself into a bat person? You really expect me to believe you looked like this before you died? He got up and said, I do. Listen, you're a bit insane, pal. I don't think... Suddenly, he would simply look at him with a serious face. Does this look like a face that lies? As Batman simply put on the best poker face. As Angel said no, Angel was confused. Why would he lie about something like that? Was it some sort of joke? Or did he do something so bad in his past he didn't want them to know? Angel simply said, okay, that was a good story. Faggy says, you believe that? Yeah, I do. Alistair would say, I fact-check it, and it happened. Angel would say, are you serious? Wow, that's crazy. It was hard for them to believe at first, especially since it didn't really happen, but eventually they would have to believe it. After all, what reason would Alistair have to lie? As they all got done talking, Batman went up to his room, as he figured out a way to clean up the streets here. He would then start to leave the hotel and find a nice abandoned cave, as he would start to install special prison bars and turn it into a prison so he can, collect certain bad doers. As Batman finished it, he couldn't believe what he was going to do. He was going to have to try to clean up hell itself, but he was going to do what he needed to do. He was going to do what made him feel comfortable, and that was helping people, even if they were demons themselves. Batman would go out and began to search for some criminals. He would start with small, common thugs and slowly work his way up until eventually he was going to fight overlords themselves. A great target was the Bees, as he wanted to take them down one-on-one. One day, Vox would be walking alone, to check out things, when suddenly Batman would walk behind him. Hello, thug. Prepare to be put behind bars. Vox would look behind him and laugh and say, you're joking, right? Batman would say, justice is not a joke, as he would throw down a smoke grenade, as Vox wouldn't be able to see him. Vox would start to shoot electricity everywhere, but he couldn't see Batman. He was extremely powerful, but for some reason, Vox just couldn't sense him, even when he used his soul magic. However, suddenly Vox would be knocked out as he woke up in his prison. Vox was captured, as then Batman would go for Valentino. Valentino was sitting down, watching a movie, enjoying himself, when suddenly his robots made for fun purposes would suddenly start to malfunction and fall down. As he looked around, he would yell for people to get it fixed, but there was no one else around. As he walked out, everyone was passed out, as suddenly Batman walked in behind him. Hello, Valentino. As Valentino got up, I don't know who you are, some cosplayer, some freaky guy trying to have fun, but you went too far when you... Batman would simply punch him. As Valentino would get mad, the entire ground would shake, as he would start to fly towards Batman, but Batman would dodge all of his punches and dodge all of his magical attacks, as he started to hit him back with good old-fashioned kung fu moves. It seemed like Valentino relied on his power too much, and he couldn't compete with Batman's wit. The next thing he knew, he woke up in prison. As then Batman said, "Without you guys, this place will be a lot safer." As he started to walk away, he heard laughter, and he said, "Wow, I can't believe you actually did this. That's crazy." As it was Lucifer, Batman would simply stare at him. As Lucifer says, "You're not going to try to fight me? I know I couldn't win." As Lucifer would simply laugh, That's actually pretty cool. You are such a cool guy. You did all of this without magic? That's so badass. Oh my god, I'm quite a big fanboy. Alright, the bet is over. I bet you wouldn't continue your mission and you would just leave right away, but I lost. Who'd you make a bet with? Suddenly, Batmite would show up. As Batmite would suddenly get $5 for Lucifer. Batman said all this was over a $5 bet. Lucifer would say, yep, it was. Alright, you can go now. Portal opens up, as suddenly, Batman would walk through it and go back to Gotham. That is going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. I love Batman. I've always loved him as a kid. And I used to know everything about Batman until I stopped watching Batman when I got into anime. And every once in a while I'll go back to Batman. But it's just, I don't know. I just not a really good Batman fan as I used to be. But it's fine. I still enjoy making these videos. I enjoy the Hazbin universe, and I really want to do more with my channel. I've been thinking about making original content and things like that, but I don't know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please share with all your friends, and I love you all so very, very much.